Hello and welcome to the 7th lesson of the course Copywriting from 0 in 30 days. In the previous episode we talked about AIDA model and how to write a full-fledged copy in just 15 minutes. And you probably noticed that writing a commercial text is quite easy when you have all the necessary initial data about the product or service, about the audience and its needs, about how the product covers these needs, etc. But what if there is no such information? What to write about then? In this case, we cannot write the text at once and must first conduct a market analysis. Market analysis. Market analysis is a comprehensive study of a niche, product and audience. It helps to sell goods, services or ideas more effectively. This is usually a fairly large piece of work, and it's great if we have such data. But the reality is that quite often when we write a sales copy, these data, alas, are not available to us, as well as there is no time and resources for such a full-fledged research. That is why in copywriting, in such situations, it is advisable to conduct an express analysis. It takes much less time and effort, about 20 minutes, but allows us to write a fairly effective text for launch and testing. Let's assume that we are a distributor and wholesale spare parts for home appliance repair services in Italy. We need to write a commercial offer for potential clients. To do this correctly, we conduct an express market analysis. It consists of 6 sections. Let's take a closer look at them with illustrative example. Section A. Product and seller. First of all, we need to study our product and the seller in detail. For this, we can create 2 blocks. In the first block, we describe the product, its features and characteristics. In the second one, the seller and its properties. You already know how to write features and specs from the 3rd lesson of this course. By the way, if you want to read the text in the table more carefully or use this template in your own projects, I'll leave the link to the file in the description below. Just copy and use it. Section B. Target audience and its needs. The second section is about the audience, and it contains 2 blocks as well. In the first block, we write the segment we are working in. In the second block, we describe target audience, its interests and needs that we can potentially cover. If necessary, we divide the audience into target groups. We talked about what the target group is in the 2nd lesson of this course. Please note, if we work with different audiences in different segments, for example, B2B wholesale and B2C retail, then we need to do a separate analysis for each segment. Also, different analyses need to be done if we have completely different target groups in terms of needs and interests. In our example, we work in B2B segment and have 2 target groups whose interests overlap, complement and affect each other. Therefore, we consider them in one analysis. Section C. Benefits. The 3rd section of our express market analysis is all about benefits. The easiest way to present them is in the 2 columns of a table. In the left column, we write the interests and needs of the audience from the previous section. In the right column, we write how we can cover these interests and needs through the features and specs of the product and the seller, the ones from the section A. As a result, we have a complete set of benefits to write a full-fledged sales copy. Section D. Questions and objections. In this section, we also use 2 columns. In the first column, we write relevant questions that potential buyers ask or may ask. We have to answer them in the text later. In the second column, we write possible objections of the audience. These objections should be handled in the copy as well. Section E. Differences from competitors. This is one of the key sections in marketing analysis that is closely related to section A, but in a different, comparative context. This is a kind of a marker, which consists of 2 parts, strengths and weaknesses. Everything that is an advantage over competitors, or that is just a neutral but positive attribute, we write down as strengths. Everything in which we lose to competitors and other obvious shortcomings as weaknesses. Strengths can provide additional information on benefits. Weaknesses help to identify new questions and objections. In general, if you look closely, you will see that almost all sections of the analysis are connected and complement each other. Section F. Target action, client source, and other notes. The final section of the marketing analysis contains information that completes the big picture and allows us to develop a final concept for the copy. This section contains several blocks. The first block describes the target action, or what we want our audience to do after reading the text. The second block is about the client source. It allows us to determine the quality of the audience and its condition to perform the target action. Finally, the third block contains additional information and details that are relevant to the case. For example, these can be clarification on target groups, audience loyalty level, seasonality, and other factors. All 6 sections of the Express Market Analysis form the necessary data set, which is more than enough to write an effective commercial text. Information sources for market analysis. Okay, now we have the structure of the future research, but one important question remains open: where to get all this information? And there are several sources here. 1. The client or sales managers who communicate with customers. This is one of the highest priority sources when we work on order. By the way, a good copywriter always asks a lot of questions. 2. The target audience itself, provided that we have the opportunity to communicate with it. 3. Open sources of information, such as social networks, forums, blogs, etc. 4. Common sense and the theory of 3 basic instincts. We talked about this theory in the second lesson of this course. Practical task. Now it's time to practice. Use the information and template from this lesson to conduct your own Express Market Analysis. Choose a niche, segment, product, and audience at your discretion. You will succeed. Take care of yourself, subscribe, and see you in the next lesson.